Well, we knew this was coming. Eventually. And a controversial opinion is exactly what's gonna help my like to dislike ratio, which, by the way, is already pretty bad. It's not too unexpected that I don't think the material Bill Burr picks is the best material.
I had no idea how difficult it was to be a white woman.
I might even say low-hanging fruit. You know, Bill Burr really showed it to trans people, Michelle Obama, women's rights rallies, the Me Too movement. Absolutely scathing comedy.
Look, I'm sure that there's some feminists in the crowd right now not appreciating this joke, feeling triggered, feeling like they need to fucking put out a hashtag or some shit and be brave and speak out.
He showed it to the feminists too. In fact, that leads me to wonder who he thinks feminists are. Because I agree with feminism. I believe in a general move towards social equality. And at no point did I want to pull out my phone and hashtag like I'm a fucking moron. I guess what he maybe means is like social media warriors or armchair activists, in which case, fire away. But then Burr talks about women's marches like he's never seen one. So let me quickly explain it. It's a protest. That's it. They hardly ever excite or elicit change, but keeps the spotlight on the current issues.
I want to drive by like a woman's rally and just say the most sexist shit I can think of, just to watch them lose their minds. And I'll just drive by real slow and be like, yeah, why don't you get back in the kitchen where you belong?
Oh, and opponents do show up and yell misogynist things, but not ironically or as a joke, like they believe it. Actually believe it. Here's an interview clip explaining his actual nuanced opinion, in a funny way, mind you.
Like, I've been joking how like a lot of feminists are like smart, but it's not the ones that are on TV.
Too bad he didn't take the time to say that at any point in his hour-long comedy special. So here's the thing. I can go through and explain why a joke didn't land for me or something that is just plainly, factually wrong. The idea that the Me Too movement got everybody, as in sexual exploitation of women, has stopped. But who cares? Burr doesn't. This is a joke show. You know, I occasionally laughed. He has a presence. There is a moment where I just sort of stopped thinking and started just watching it. It's not worth it. Okay, but actually, this is like an amazing beefed up character of Burr that actually represents like this super reactive person who just can't grasp basic, somewhat progressive concepts, usually in regard to social equality or critiques of power structures. Burr has this line where he says his points are always misunderstood. It leaves his mouth and people interpret it wrong according to their bias. So here's a crazy idea. Maybe if this is such a common occurrence, change the fucking words or presentation. And no, this isn't something that immediately happens to all comedians. Look at Conan, Kevin Hart, John Mulaney, most of the comics that rank on my list. And you know it sucks? Because Burr is a great comic. He's got timing. He can tell a story well. But he can't help but choose these weird political topics that just aren't nearly as funny as his own experiences. Like the second half, where he talks about Elvis, sex dolls, and his dog is actually good. I think of people like Lenny Bruce, Monty Python, Dave Chappelle, who truly pulled off controversial comedy that was truly fantastic, regardless of how you felt about the subject. In many ways, this has to be a character. It just has to be. Because I can't believe that Burr is such an angry, vindictive person. He has too much technique. He can't really believe everything he says, as some of it is obviously wrong. Which is why in the second half, where he explores why he thinks like this, it works so well.
I wanted people to watch it and have fun. Like, I'm not trying to fucking hurt anybody. It's not malicious, but I'm doing my job. I'm talking about what's in the news, and I'm fucking around, and it's part that, and then the other part is just me talking about my flaws, my temper, and trying to work that shit out. That's all this fucking thing is.
I just think you could pull off the first half much better with slightly more nuance or subtlety. Or double down. Make it obvious you're wrong. But I guess that's the core. Burr is this propped up tiger, full of rage. But really, deep down, it's an illusion. It's paper thin. It's origami.
And it's also another way of saying that I'm full of shit and,
Yeah,
you know.
you're a paper tiger.
Yeah, exactly.
I think Burr works best when there's someone else to oppose the more severe parts of his opinions. His appearances on Conan are legendary. The Black Friday rant.
I don't know. I don't like that Black Friday type of stuff. It just freaks me out. Makes me sad for Americans watching them getting trampled. Why wouldn't you just admit that you can't afford it at regular prices?
And which guns he uses and why.
Don't have like a 44 Magnum. It's like you're gonna shoot through the guy, through the wall, blow your dog's brains out, and like drop the engine out of your car. It's just way too much. Just
22.
get like a little 22. You can still hear if you miss.
Oh, brilliant. 5 out of 10. Not a terrible score by any means, but it is towards the bottom of the list.